Hey everyone, it's Sean, the What's Up Dude. We are here in Pontiac, Illinois, and right behind me, this is the Route 66 Museum in Pontiac. And we're gonna go on a trip through history and see the past like you've never seen before. And we're gonna see what we can find and have a little fun along the way. This is Sean, the What's Up Dude. This is the museum complex. There's 3 exhibits: the War Museum and Life on the Titanic and Civil War and Route 66. And here is an old church, but we're gonna walk across the street to the museum. This is an old school town vibe. Very historic buildings, old brick. All right, we have antiques, War Museum. This is the Livingston County War Museum, part of the Route 66 Museum complex. Right up here, that's the sign, Route 66 Association of Illinois Hall of Fame, and we're going to go ahead and enter in. Here there is a collage that creates one giant photo, preserving the past for the future. What Route 66 provides and you are enjoying today is a history of yesterday. What we do today will become the history of tomorrow. And before you enter the museum, there's a brief video about preserving Route 66 in Illinois. Couple things on the walls, collectibles. And they do have an elevator to go to the different attractions. You have the Route 66 Hall of Fame and Museum, the War Museum, Route 66, a photo journal exhibit, and there's more exhibits as well, including the Titanic exhibit. All right, we're gonna go ahead and enter into the first part of the museum.
My name is Rose. I have been working at this museum for almost 18 years. Our museum is laid out in order of the towns on 66, so it goes from Chicago to St. Louis. It's just Illinois.
All right, this is the original streetcar hat rack from Gardner, Illinois. Signs on the wall. This is a Pontiac diorama of the town from a long time ago. All right, and all over the place, they do have these shelving units with historical pieces from history. We do have some old oil cans from Sinclair, one of the gas stations my father loves. You got Texaco. got a bunch of license plates. Get your kicks on Route 66. The historic Route 66 signage. And each of these cases are from different areas. Illinois, Mount Olive. It shows you a little bit of information. Crossroads Diner. Some of the historic places you can visit in these towns. And as we go through, this is Illinois Beld. And then you have Farmersville. We have artifacts from each of these places telling the story of history along the Mother Road. Here we do have DeVernon and Springfield. We did visit the Cozy Dog already, so we have a video on that, but this is just showing you some history of the Cozy Dog. Some pictures from the Hall of Fame. Different pieces of history from these iconic towns. This is Illinois Mitchell and the Chain of Rocks. Do a slow pan of the items that they have in these shelves. Some classic cars. Right here, this is the map that goes all the way up to Chicago, or if you look at it from this way, Chicago, all the way to St. Louis. We do have a picture of the Gemini Giant, which now has moved, but it's still available to see. We got some old historic gas containers. And this is an old Volkswagen that's been converted into a historical masterpiece showing the history of Route 66 and a tribute to the open road. We do have a bunch of license plates from different areas in Illinois celebrating the road. And here we have Towanda and Bloomington. Different artifacts in these cases. And we have more Bloomington right here. We have a firefighter's hat on the bottom. All right, Bloomington and Funk's Grove. We do have some pieces here from, looks like, racing memories from the past. We have some Pepsi bottles and a can. There's so many memories on these roads, and it's important to remember history so we don't forget where we've been. This is McLean and Lincoln, and this is the Dixie truck stop. We've been there before. They have good food and awesome place to visit. And then we have Lincoln. This is celebrating Lincoln, Illinois, and Abraham Lincoln. Some more gas station memorabilia. And an old Illinois US 66 sign from Twin Cities. And we have a motorcycle right here and a Lee Tire sign. A little bit of history of where this motorcycle has been. More license plates. A little table reminiscent of a Route 66 diner. And a quick video showing Santa Monica Pier and some of the historical adventures that you can find on Route 66. We do have some more cases showing more historical artifacts, including a statue of the Gemini Giant. You can purchase some of those statues actually online. This is Chicago, the Berghoff restaurant. Different artifacts from the city. Lou Mitchell's, which I recently did a video on that. Amazing food, amazing restaurant. LaGrange in Wilmington. And we have White Fence Farm featured here. And the launching pad. Joliet. We do have another Route 66 museum there. And also Braidwood. We have some artifacts from there. Gardner, Illinois. We did eat at the Gardner restaurant, but they are not part of the Route 66 experience, but they are there in case you get hungry. Dwight has some good stuff. Here's some historical artifacts from both of those towns. More from Odell and Dwight. We have different artifacts such as Christmas ornaments, pens, anything that is historical that the museum could find, they did include it in this museum. There's some 1960s Coke bottles. And this is more of Odell and Pontiac. So this town has its own shelf with their own stuff. Pontiac in Genoa, Illinois. And then we got Lexington. Some artifacts from the town. More Lexington right here. Some old historic books that you can get that tell you about the area.
It looks like the Adams family's house up there.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take the elevator to the next floor to see the next exhibit. All right, and here we go. We're gonna see the next part of the tour. Here's some historic pieces from prehistoric life. Now it looks like the gift shop is not currently open. So we'll head up to the next floor because right now this floor is not active. And then while we're in the elevator going to the second floor, they do have some advertisements on the wall, including the Route 66 Centennial Celebration. And these are all the upcoming events. All right, we are here. Let's head on out. Some old historic items from a long time ago. Headlines of World War II. We have newspapers. Music of the 40s. So this is different musicians and records from the 40s era. Definitely a different field than it is now. "1940s. What children did." This is some of the toys and different items from a child's point of view, child's life from that time. We do have some comic books, which is really cool. We got some Batman comics. Some more newspaper clippings. And that's just a bathroom in case you gotta go. Grab your hat and go. Route 66, the early years. This is just some of the historical pieces that you can find during those times. An ad for Dad's old-fashioned root beer. The 1940s house. We're gonna go inside and see what a house looked like in the 40s. Kind of like a parlor room type experience where that used to be the TV screen, which was super small. Little fireplace, and they had a radio. That was the main form of entertainment. And this is when families used to actually eat together, like family, and spend time together. A lot of times now that doesn't really happen, but families would set the plates and enjoy a meal together. Here's an old telephone. You used to have to dial the numbers individually. Took a lot more time. But things were a lot simpler back then. This is a bedroom set. Little kitchen area, little tiny refrigerator, a small stove, little eating area. And these are some of the pieces of history, kitchen tools that we use today. Some things that you may recognize. It's been modernized, but some of your favorite brands like Jay's. Potato chips, Hershey's milk chocolate, Maxwell House coffee, and Pepsi Cola. It's all here. Of course, I would prefer that they had a Frito-Lay chip bag because I worked there, but that's just me. All right, let's continue our tour. This is more things that children played with. Of course, you got Scrabble. That's when people used to sit around and actually play board games with each other. Some people still do, but not as often. Lincoln Logs used to be a huge toy that kids would play with. I actually had a set myself. And this is when BB guns were prevalent. Kids had fun and used to shoot targets. This is a cardboard farm set. And model planes. And of course, football was very prevalent during that time. The Stage Door Canteen. Let's go ahead and go check it out. Some newspaper article about the Allies invading France. This is a advertisement. Do with less so they have enough. Rationing gives you your fair share. An old war ad. Through these doors, past the most beautiful uniforms in the world. This is the Armed Forces, Air Force, Navy, and the Army. And this is the bandstand where you'd come in to the Stage Door Canteen and you would hear music from live bands, and they would be performing with sheet music. The Stage Door Canteen, where we are now, this is a recreation of what that would be, was a New York City night spot for American and Allied servicemen on leave. The canteen operated from 1942 until the end of the war in 1945 and offered free food, dancing, and entertainment. So if you want, we can take a seat and act like we are enjoying a show from the 1940s. All right, this is the War Museum, although in the wintertime, they are not open. They do have some Route 66 pictures on the wall of every stop. All the iconic places you can visit. And this is the door to the Livingston County War Museum. And they'll be back open again when spring happens. And we can honor our soldiers by coming back to visit. And I have done a video on this museum before, so if you want to watch it, look through my videos and you'll find it. All right, we are now in a room with pictures from Route 66 all across of the United States. This is the Arcadia Round Barn from Arcadia, Oklahoma. This is the Teepee Drive-In. This is the Launching Pad Drive-In in Wilmington, Illinois. We have seen the Gemini Giant, and unfortunately he's not at that location anymore, but he is just down the road, so you can still go visit him. Turn around. This is the Wigwam Motel in Hallbrook, Arizona. And just like the song says, in Winslow, Arizona, standing on the corner. This is the 66 Diner. And then you got the Roadrunner Lodge, Tucumcari, New Mexico. Now, I still haven't been able to visit some of these iconic locations. With work and finances, I can't do that yet, but my parents have visited some of these places since they are retired. But I plan on visiting them myself at some point when I am able to in the future. This is Winslow, Arizona again. This is the La Posada Hotel. Angel and Vilma Delgadillo's original Route 66 gift shop. This is in Selgerman, Arizona. Motorhead's Bar and Grill, we filmed that. a old-fashioned gas station, Conoco gas station, drive-in theater on Route 66. This is Emma Jean's Holland Burger Cafe, Victoriaville, California. And this is Lou Mitchell's in Chicago, which we just did our video on. Del Rey's Chicken Basket. This is Willowbrook, Illinois, one of the greatest chicken sandwiches and fried chicken that I've had. And we have Henry's. It's a meal in itself. I pass this almost every day when I go to work. The Big Texas Steak Ranch, Amarillo, Texas. You can take the Big Texan Challenge and eat a whopping steak. Arcadia, Oklahoma. It's the Frontier Motel. A couple more places that they have. And then we're gonna head back down. I hope you enjoyed the visit to the Route 66 Museum. We'll have to come back another time and show you more in the future. On this floor, we do have some more pictures of the iconic stops. This is reminiscent of the two-man jail. Show you all the different pictures they have of these different iconic stops. And the thing about the Mother Road is no matter how many times you travel, you'll always find a new spot to visit, or you'll see something you've never seen before. Because there's so much to offer, but people forget to remember and appreciate nostalgia. If we just remember history a little more, I think we'll be a lot better off. Because there's so many amazing things that this Mother Road has to offer. If you just slow down and take a ride and enjoy the journey. All right, we are headed to our next stop, our next tour. But this will end that video, and we'll go ahead and head to the next attraction. Now, what's kind of cool, I'm going to show you just a bit what you can do in this town. It gives you directions, but for this video, that's all. Till next time, this is the What's Up Dude signing off. Please like, share, and subscribe so that I can explore new areas and go to more places in